Jonathan Aguilar here for Pro Boxing Fans. Delighted to be joined by Shakan Pitters, light heavyweight contender. Shakan, how are you finding isolation? How's things?
It's all right, man. I've been getting on with things fine. To be fair, it's been a bit. It's the same for anyone, and it doesn't matter what you're doing around the world. It's affecting everyone in their own way. So I can't dwell on the fact of how it's affecting me, but I'm just getting through things. Doing what I can do, spending a lot of time with the family and things like that. So I've got to take the positives out of it as well, and not really focus on the negative side of things of what it would have been, what could have been, as that's out of our control now. But hopefully things can resume soon, and we could get on with things. I mean, the weather's been great as well, so it'd be good to be getting out and about a bit more. But it's what it is. I think everyone's affected from this pandemic, so I can't really just dwell on my own how it's affected me.
Yeah, as long as yourself, family, and friends are alright, I think that's the most
Exactly.
important thing at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
I do want to take you back a bit. I spoke to you after you won the English title, I remember, at York Hall in the dressing room, but I don't know too much about your backstory, so I do want to just take it back. From what I've sort of read up, I understand you were sort of a footballer, is that right, for West Brom?
Yeah, I was playing football for West Brom for about a good 4 years or so. That's what I started as a kid. That was my childhood dream. I wanted to be a footballer. I see myself playing on the TV and football, and that's all generally I wanted to do. But obviously, my dad and my family being like my brothers and things, they were boxers themselves. So it's something it was quite easy to get familiar with. My dad brought us all to the gym and had us all very disciplined, especially me anyway from a young age, very disciplined, waking up before I went to school to train and things like that. So it was always just installed in me. It's drummed in me as a kid. So I've just stuck with it all these years now. And just, now I'm old enough I could do it myself without my dad not wanting me to do it.
What?
So
Sorry, what level did you get to with West Brom?
I got released when they were offering out the adult scholarships.
Okay.
So it was only taking 3 on at a time. So I've obviously through the youth and so on, they extended my contracts and so on, and it was the adult contracts which they were offering, which is where they released myself. I went to other clubs after that, semi-pro clubs and things, but it wasn't the same feeling. It wasn't the same love I had for putting on the West Brom shirt. At the time they were a Premier League team, so it was like me putting on that shirt. You kind of felt, a sense of achievement. You know what I mean? You was that step closer. In my head, I always visualized myself being on the big stage in football. But it's what it is. It would have been, like I said, man. I've said they would have been in the Premier if they kept me on now.
Well, they might be soon. Has that experience made you more motivated, in the boxing game?
I can't. Nah, I think the experience for me definitely came, and I owe it to my dad. My dad definitely installed that into ourselves, and also my mum as well. My mum's a very hard working lady, and she's someone I've never heard my mum or anything or my dad, mention any excuses in life. So I think with those qualities, what they had in themselves, I've always just been drummed in myself and hard skinned to a lot of things and was taught to just get on with things and, give everything my best. So I think that's where my drive and determination comes. It's definitely through my parents. I have to give them credit for that. They've raised me to be very tough skinned and just get on with things. I ain't got time to feel sorry for myself in a life where we're fighting losing battles anyway. We're all constantly trying to pay some form of income or way to paying whatever bill it may be or whatever it may be. So we're all on the quicksand anyway. So I've just been taught to just keep driving at things and keep going and give it all, give it my all. Yeah.
And obviously, you won the English title back in September.
Yeah.
How did that achievement rank for you? What did that mean to you?
It meant a lot. Obviously my first professional title. From my own opinion and that, obviously I didn't take the amateurs as seriously, and that's like I said, I'm very open with that. That's one of my biggest regrets. I'd urge all amateur boxers coming through the ranks to, give it their all, take it seriously, because you can set yourself up so good through the amateur rankings. So I didn't win a lot as an amateur. So to obviously, I expected to win and I'm still expecting to win more titles. Obviously, I've got the British, and I'm expecting to go on to win a lot more titles from there on. But it just shows when you put your head to things, because like I said, I never won any titles or anything like that as an amateur. So for me, winning it as a professional, my first one, it meant a lot to me. It genuinely did mean a lot to me to win that English title, because it's just, now that's me over the hurdle. Now let's go on to the next one now, and we get used to the momentum of winning these titles now, and that's what it is for me.
Was it a long amateur career or not?
No, it wasn't. I had 19 fights. I was amateur for about, I don't know, 3-4 years or so, and it wasn't as long. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I got to stages like the national semis, and I got to I won a Birmingham bout, I won a few Midlands titles around my area, but again, that was just me just going through the motions of things, but now, and I feel a lot better as myself now. I've got everything in place. I've got a great setup, a great stable, and everything's in place. So there's no wronging at all. That's why for me now, I feel at home when I'm in the ring. I feel at home when I'm in the gym. I'm enjoying my work, my training, and the work that my team puts in. Bo Coonahan, Louis Coonahan, and my manager John Pegg. It's I couldn't thank them enough. They're all doing a great job. Everyone's pulling the strings. So I'm in a great place right now when it comes to boxing.
A few weeks ago now, you were meant to fight in that British title fight against Chad Sugden. Unfortunately, with all of this going on with the pandemic and everything, it did get postponed. How far were you into your training camp when you found out the news?
Went right through the camp, man. We literally went right through the camp. I mean, and I'm sure he shares the same frustration too, because it was opportunity for himself as well. And I don't know what's going on with that now. It's him or whoever. I don't care. But we was deep into the camp. Like I said, we've done all our hard training. I was at the stage where all I like to do now is just make the weight on the scales. So now I've got to do that again. So it's a bit frustrating, but such is life, innit? You know what I mean? It just, what don't break us makes us stronger. Obviously, I was a bit down about it at the start, because it's something even worse for ourselves and me. Like, we literally seen fights before us, falling off. The likes of a few Eddie Hearn shows and other promoters, they're falling off, and we're thinking, I hope we could just make it through. I hope we could just squeeze it through this barrier. But again, like I said, it wasn't meant to be. However, the opportunity is still there. But there's a bigger crisis, as I say, man. People are dying from this, and it's not nice to hear or see the death toll numbers. So, boxing as well. Boxing is obviously my bread and butter on what I'm doing and my source of income. But as I say, there's a world pandemic. It's much bigger than boxing right now, and I just hope that this gets better. And my condolences go to all the family who've lost people in this pandemic as well. It's it's not nice at all. And I just hope that the world just gets better and everyone's back on their feet and everyone can find some comfort in themselves through all this through these difficult times right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. I mean, obviously, when you're in such an intense training camp for a fight, you're obviously at your peak condition. So how hard was it sort of going through all of that, and now you're at the stage where you had to sort of taper things down? Was that sort of difficult when you're at such a peak level?
Say that again, sorry.
Because you're so close to the fight day, you'd obviously got yourself into peak condition.
Yeah.
But now, obviously, with the fight off, you've had to taper yourself down. Was that sort of difficult?
Nah, for me, it's what would be done anyway. If I fought, after when I would have fought, it would have taped it down. But it's more frustrating, as I say, the fact that I put my body through it. And, because training camps, they do cost, they cost you a bit of money, man. Like, for all these conditioning sessions, and other people and traveling, as I say, we was in Dubai, and just doing things, you're buying your equipment, everything, your meals, it costs a bit, you know what I mean? So, but it's not a problem. I'm always wanting to invest in my career anyway, but it's just the fact of doing it again. But yeah, I've managed my fitness in a way now. You know, I'm still ticking over. I'm not training like a madman, but you know, I'm ticking over. I've got myself in a nice sort of routine, and I'm enjoying my routine. You know, it's good to just. I think this is where you'll find out a lot about people's characters. You know what I mean? You know, as Floyd and that says, and a lot of people say, you know, tough times don't last. But you know, if you're tough, man, these things will overcome, and we could just obviously, you know, or you'll come back as a stronger character for it, a stronger person. It do a lot of people good, and this will also be detrimental to a lot of other people as well. But for me, I'm just, like I said, I'm taking the smooth with the smooth, the rough with the rough. I'm enjoying my routine. Training for me, I'm enjoying it, and it's not a chore for me, so it's just a part of my life. So yeah, I'm enjoying it.
I mean, as you said, the pandemic's affecting sort of, you know, businesses, you know, financially, but for boxers, obviously, you only get paid when you fight. You mentioned sort of the financial cost of training camps, etc. And obviously, you haven't been in the ring since September.
Yeah.
So how, you know, without sort of prying too deeply, how difficult has this period been sort of financially?
No, it's been all right. I mean, for me, I know one thing it's taught me and a lot of other people, you know, money management is very important. You know, it's so often as boxers, you'll see a lot of them, they get paid and they squander it, you know. If I risk my life in the ring, I want to really, and I get it. Listen, a lot of people have got other financial bills they've got people dependent on them. I get it, but it's important, especially after this time now that this has genuinely happened, for people to manage their money right. And I've been fine, as I say. I've got you know, great family and friends around me as well. With this time, people shouldn't really be spending anyway. You know, apart from your cost of living, that's all really what should be costing anyone. You know, no one needs to be going shopping or trying to buy online from Selfridges. I mean, if you do, that's fair on you, but I don't see why anyone needs to do any shopping right now when there's nowhere to generally go. There's nothing to do. But for me, I'm fine. For myself, I'm generally good. The only time I'm really spending money right now is on shopping to put food in the house, and that's about it. I'm all good my end.
I mean, when this sort of pandemic hopefully ends, that fight we'd expect to be there for the British title, you and Chad Sugden. What's your thoughts on it potentially going behind closed doors?
It don't bother me, man. I don't mind. At the end of the day, I've always been my. Look, it's good for the fans to see. Obviously, you want that atmosphere. I'm not gonna lie, it's a great atmosphere, but I've always been the kind of old school guy. Look, no matter what it is, I'll get the job done, and whether it's behind closed doors or in front of whoever, I'm always going to get the job done. I'm going to perform to the best because, as I say, you know, a lot of these audience, whether they're there live or they'll be watching be watching on TV. There's always new audiences watching, so it's important to always put up a good performance, and that's what I live by, and that's what I do. Is always just, you know, aim to give it my best performance all the time, as I say, because there's new audience in there who may not have seen me before. But I'm not fussed with it's closed doors, open, wherever on a plane. I don't care.
When boxing returns, obviously the fight against Sugden is going to be on Channel 5. Terrestrial TV under Mick Hennessy's Hennessy Sports. What's your thoughts on that and sort of the exposure it's going to give on free-to-air TV?
Yeah, it's good to be obviously fighting on Channel 5. I think it's going to be a lot of big exposure now, especially with what's going on. Obviously, a lot of people are going to want to tune in back into sport in general, and with it being on Channel 5, you know, free terrestrial TV. It's going to attract, I think, a lot more audience will be tuned into this fight, especially now. We haven't seen, no one's seen, obviously, sport for a very long time because of this. But for me, in general, it's going to be a great experience, you know, to be fighting on Channel 5 and so much viewers, and obviously headlining my first show. And I look forward to just going out there, winning and showing the Channel 5 audience and audience in general what I'm about.
Chad Sugden came in as the replacement for Craig Richards. A lot's been said between you and Craig Richards. I think that's also a fight that people do want to see, whether it's next or after that. Is that sort of a fight that you want to have?
If it makes sense to me, 100%. I mean, he's got his mandatory, I believe, still. So when I win this British title, his offers there, his shots there, I'm sure. But they, they, I don't know. For me, I'm happy to take it whenever. Really, it's them and their side and their team, and I don't know what it is. They played They played a lot of games, and it's probably not his fault. Don't get me wrong, but they played a lot of funny games, and that it wouldn't be just me saying that. There's other boxers who say that as well. But my career doesn't hold up for Craig. My career is not based on Craig. Whether I fight him or not, it doesn't matter to me. My aim was just to get the British title, which is, like I said, now Chad stepped in for him now, and that's it. And we'll see where we go from there after when I beat Chad. But my career is not determined on anything, whether it's a fight with Craig or not with Craig. But for the fans, if the fans want to see it, I'm happy to give it them. I've always been game for any of that. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see. From my side, it'll happen. From his side, I'm not sure. We'll see.
With the Chad Sugden fight, we obviously saw him give Craig Richards quite a big test back in December. Went to a draw. How difficult a prospect was Sugden in compared to Craig Richards? What you were preparing for. Sort of, what were the key differences for you?
Me and Craig are different fighters. Definitely different fighters. Chad will find that out in the first 30 seconds of being in round one. We're different fighters. Craig, for me, he did show his ring rust, I believe, and he hasn't had a good performance since like the Jake Paul fight. I don't know what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sterling's tough, but he made hard work of that job, and I've not really been too. From what I've seen of him, he's been struggling with a lot of his opponents lately. But do I think he won the Chad Sugden fight? I do believe so, just based on like his win generalship. He pushed the fight, he forced it, but it was very close. It was very close as well. So I wouldn't argue with the draw as well. But comparison, it doesn't worry me one bit. Like I said, we're different. I don't overlook any opponent. Look, Chad's a very game opponent. He's very tough. He's coming from a kickboxing background, and this is his world title shot as well as my world title shot. The British can open up so much doors, not just for ourselves and our families. So I'm sure he'll feel the same, and he's going to give it his all. He'll probably even be, prepared to go to hell and back, in the ring. I'm sure he will. But me and Craig is definitely two different fighters in comparison, and we'll see when we get this day. Everyone will see, man. I'm always wanting to get better. I'm always wanting to put my body through it to get better. And I'm prepared, like I said, to go hell and back and get this British.